spend so much time having these conversations with God, these arguments, she never hears them, but these arguments about why I have her. And I'm learning through this journey that God has a way of speaking to you through other people. So lately, a lot of her exes have been coming out the woodworks. You know, all on Instagram, trying to figure out what's going on with her. The crazy thing is she ain't even got no Instagram. I got an Instagram. But it's kind of like both of ours, you know. I figured that P4CM was a big enough venue in case any of her are in here. I decided to write a letter. Dear y'all. Now, I don't know any of you, but I do hope you find the happiness you deserve. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't happy that the happiness you deserve wasn't found in the happiness that is her, because if it was, then I wouldn't happen to have heard that you had been asking about her. But since I heard you had been asking about her, I figured I'd let you know. I'm about to. She's doing great. Yeah, man, she still loves to read. She still shows up late to everything, but I'm sure to you that comes as no surprise. She still has that sparkle in her eyes that makes it hard for you to look at her for too long without becoming religious and thanking God for being in this position. She's still very much in the shoes, and that smile, bro, I swear that smile is just as radiant as it used to be, and it probably does the same thing to me as it did to you. And I know you're probably asking yourself right now, like, is he serious? Is he really at P4CM talking about this? Like, I moved on, I'm happy, none of this matters, but like I said, I heard you've been asking about it. So, I started to question your happiness. Because honestly, God knows I'd question mine if I didn't have her. Because I know she chose to move on and love chose to let go, that I make at least one more attempt to grab her. You know, I say whatever I had to say for one more night of having her, and after I realized I could no longer have it, I'd probably go from talking mess to just wanting to talk, even though I know I'd make no sense. Yo, I get it. A broken heart can have you speaking in pieces. Emotions can have you saying a lot of different things knowing you don't mean it, especially when you know she's done, and you completely shed that perfect image and begin speaking to an angel with such a forked tongue. I get it. She must be your biggest regret. I know for me, I tend to breathe differently when she leaves, and with me, she comes back. So for you, I'd imagine life to feel a lot more like an asthma attack, and I'm not one to hate, so I pray for your respiratory system every day. I mean, other than our height, our personality traits, what we've been through, what we look like, we really no different, right? All undeserving, probably all of question if we were even worthy or felt guilty for bringing so much of our dirty laundry into a life of a woman who likes to keep things so clean. And I know this sounds like an insecurity thing, but it's not. When she tells me she loves me, I don't doubt her. It's more like a comparison thing, because honestly, I don't know who's stronger. Me for having the strength to hold on to her for the rest of my life, or you having to survive the rest of yours without her. See, there's some people come into our life once into a lifetime, and when they do, we just have to pray that we're done with the games, and if not, that we don't use up all three of our lifelines. She's rare. Like an unfinished novel, yet somehow already a classic, the best book I have ever spoken to, and you are blessed to have been a chapter in her story, and I could only continue to grace the blank pages that have yet to be written. See, I used to think that my biggest fear was dying too young or not reaching my full potential, but when it hits you, and you realize that your biggest fear has become just another failed student, all because you skimmed through her pages and never took the time to read them, didn't retain the information, didn't respect the content, and definitely didn't handle the book with care. Sometimes you talk about it, and sometimes in front of a whole lot of people. All because I don't want to become you. Just another reader, borrowing her time only to put her back on the shelf and risk the chance of somebody else realizing there is no other book in this library of life more valuable. You put her back. And when this book falls into your lap, you gotta know what to do with it. And I don't blame you, bruh. I'd walk up and down these aisles looking for one just like her, but please remember that God does not make duplicates. You put her back. And for that, I thank God. I thank God. I thank you. And I thank every one of her exes for your illiteracy. Thank you.
Okay, Prentice!